This is a Lyric Janae production.
Hey, ladies and y'all, what's good? Today we're gonna talk about the reason why I changed the name of my poetry book. It needed to get changed. So, as many know, I've been writing since I was about 6 years old, and I at one point just became really discouraged, and I didn't believe in myself, and I just threw my poetry, all of it, out in the garbage. I mean, years and years of poetry, I just tossed in the garbage. Like I was like, I ain't gonna ever succeed at this. I'm never gonna make it at this, and I threw it all in the garbage. Like that's like I don't really have regrets, but that's one of my biggest regrets to this day still because it was like I know it was some jewels in there. I know it was treasure in there. And I had some stuff out in the garage that I hadn't gone through since 2000 and something. And in it, um, I found a poem in one of my journals. I found a poem called "The Introduction to Q Cipher." So that's when the Q Cipher, the poet, started, and the title on the journal was "Diary of Truth." So I immediately was like, "Oh, this is what I can call my next poetry book." 'Cause this poetry book has had so many different so many different titles. I went through so many different stages. One was a conqueror story, even though that's in the title now, but that was the first name of it. Was a conqueror story. The second was a diary of truth, which they all were good. Um, the diary of truth, I was like, oh, this is perfect because I found it for something old that I wrote, and like this is phenomenal. This is going to be a hit. And I still may actually use that at some point in my future, but I'll probably do, a little spin on it because I still do like the name. But for this book, I felt like it needed to be different because, yes, it was the truth, but it was more about um, my resilience and all that it took to get here in this moment, all that it took to get here and sit in front of this camera and have this light on me and share pieces of my story that are like, this is what the book is about. It's about all that it took to get here in this very moment, for you to be hearing my voice, for you to come here and listen to my story. And it wasn't like a loud roar, it was a whisper. It was a whisper of hope. It was a whisper of truth. It was a whisper from God. It was a whisper. And the reason why I say that is because I was so stuck in whatever state that I was in that I couldn't hear anything more than a whisper. I was so gone in my thoughts. I was so gone in my mind. I was so lost in the pain and the hurt and all these different things. I couldn't hear anything. And you know what it was? It was just like a gentle touch on the shoulder. And somebody whispers in your ear and they say, come here, come here, come here. And you say, yeah. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't need to be yelled. You don't need somebody to say, it's gonna be okay. You don't need all that. Because in the midst of the chaos, you're not gonna hear that. You understand what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear somebody yelling. But somebody comes up to you and says, listen, arms you for that moment and says, it's gonna be okay. Hits your soul differently. And that's what happened with me. I just in the midst of chaos, mentally, physically, emotionally, I just was gone. And God had been trying to talk to me. My friends had been trying to talk to me. My sister, my mom, my best friends, God, everybody was like, "You are spiraling out of control," and I didn't care. I didn't care in that moment if I was here or not. I didn't care what happened. I just didn't care. I was just in too much pain. It just didn't feel worth it, and I was over it.